Hello, friends. How are you? Let me do a little adjustment on the camera here. Hey. I hope that you are doing amazing today. Let me check. I've got my computer going on here. So let me do a little quick check to make certain that we are in our group, which is where we're supposed to be. I hope that's where we are. If not, I'll restart and we'll come back in. But let me double check. It's spooling. All right, so here we go. Let me double check. We are in our group. All right. Yes. Excellent. All right. I am so excited to be here with you all tonight. We have an encore presentation. This is session number 4. That's right, session 4 of our How to Support Our Struggling Writers Overcome Writer's Block professional learning series. So, as you know, my name is Dr. Annette, and I am so excited to be with you all here tonight. How are things going? Today's February 2nd. That's right. And it was a beautiful day outside today. I don't know if you had a chance to see the quick little video that I posted a little bit ago just to remind you about tonight. But we just had that snow just gently falling down, which was so pretty. And then the kids were up on the hill. They were going down that snow mountain. It's a hill covered with snow, right? But they were just going down that and enjoying the tubing, not on water, but on snow. So it's a lot of fun. Kids have lots of fun out at the school, and especially here with the weather changes. So, all right, so we have a full program here with you tonight. I want to encourage you to stay to the end. At the end of our session, I'll drop a link into our Zoom classroom so that you can hop on the Zoom classroom with me and get your questions and answers, the Q&A session there for you. We're going to look at priming our brain, right? The student's brain, not yours, but the student's brain to encourage them to write. And then we're also going to talk about those next steps. So let's go ahead and get our conversation started tonight. All right. I want to ask you, do you have students that struggle with writing? Anyone out there have students struggle with writing? They might be struggling with content, with style and form, mechanics, characteristics, the organization, the word choice, all of that, sentence fluency. Maybe they complain or they argue or they have a sour attitude about writing. You have those kids, right? I know you do. Perhaps they, are just doodling, and when you walk over to see how they're doing, then they're like, "Oh, I'm fine. I'm just drawing a picture," and they're not supposed to be. They're supposed to be writing. But we talked about that a little bit earlier. These students, they just really don't have. They have nothing to write about. They are thinking that they hate writing, and then they have to redo work because there's some red ink on it, and it can just be a big hot mess. So if you have kids out there like we had today sledding down that hill, they're just developing those memories and some inspiration that I hope their teachers are engaging them in some of that writing. But do you have the students that struggle? I know in a class of 25 diverse students, you're going to have at least 1 or 2 kiddos, if not more, that struggle. So, my friends, over the past 30 years in education, I have had the opportunity to work with more than 1,000 students to develop not only their writing skills, but to further develop writing strategy and, most importantly, a joy in writing. So you know what? In my classroom, writer's block was completely extinct. And so today I'm going to share with you some valuable tips and strategies to assist teachers in public, private, and homeschool classrooms to support your writers in overcoming writer's block and success to be a successful writer. I want to encourage you to stay to the end where I'll pop the link in for our Zoom classroom tonight. And I also have some exciting next steps that I want to share with you, my blue ribbon teacher friends. Now, this is just for you, and you are part of our group, Engage, Educate, Excel, and I'm excited to offer this to you. So as I shared that our topic today is going to focus on writing, and we're at that 4th session. This is the final session tonight where we are discussing writer's block and how to overcome this challenge. So I'm going to share with you what I've learned from my research and practice. I've had lots of research and practice that is successful in getting students not only to write, but to become avid writers. That's right. No more tears in my classroom, no more blank pages, right? And sour attitudes. No more of that stuff. How would you like to have that, right? Are you with me? All right, let's go ahead and get started. So our first session here, whoops, let me flip over to the next slide. There we go. So first I want to just take a little quick moment here and see how you're doing. If you could share with me, let me try and get my little, I've got my PowerPoint screen is kind of overlapping a little bit. Let me see if I can make it a little adjustment. It's like just scoot it over a little bit more. That's all I need to do. Scoot it over. There we go. Scoot. Okay. So that way I can click on this on the screen and I can still talk to you. Okay. So let me know where are you tuning in from tonight? Go ahead and share in the comments where you're viewing from and tell us what you love most about writing. I would love to hear what you love most. All right. As we continue our training tonight, if you have any questions or comments, pop those in the chat box. Remember to click that like button and that heart button, because when you click that, it lets other people in our group know that, hey, guess what? There's something going on tonight and you need to come on in, okay? You know, if you have those questions, I'll be certain to answer those as we go throughout our session tonight. Let me look over here. Okay, so I'm going to move my screen so that I can see the questions popping in, and then our comments as well. And then also, you know what? If you could do me a sweet favor, if you could invite a friend or 2 or 3 friends to join our group so that they can also benefit from this valuable information that we share in our group, I would love that. And I know that your friends would appreciate it. You know, part of the reason for me doing this is because I have some knowledge and some expertise and some experiences, and I don't want you to you know, go through the long process of trying to figure things out whenever there are educators out there who are able to share their information. You know, I feel like it's my mission to support the instructional and the behavioral needs that students have by doing that through teachers and supporting our teachers. Because you know what, teaching, although there's lots of people, but it, you know, working together, but when you're in your own classroom, it could be a lonely profession. So it's important that we engage in those conversations and help each other out. Okay, so if you could share this, tag a friend and about this video, share the video with your friends, invite your friends to come in and say, hey, these are some of the things that we're learning about that you might appreciate, you know, so that would be wonderful. Okay, I would really, really appreciate that. Let's go ahead on to the next slide here. Now, I know before we get started tonight, I know that life gets busy, and I know some of you might be trying to multitask, but what I'd like for you to do is to try and eliminate those distractions. You know, writing is a very powerful tool for everyone. That pencil is very, very powerful, right? And it is important that our students are proficient writers. So if your goal is to improve your literacy instructional strategies, then this professional learning series is a perfect place to start this journey towards being an amazing writing teacher who supports each student's writing. And I mean each, so it's personalized writing. All right, my friends, so grab your favorite beverage, got mine, and I would love for you to come on into our classroom and, you know, let's engage in some learning tonight, okay? As I shared before, this is our 4th and final session. If you missed the prior 3 sessions, they are posted in our group, Engage, Educate, Excel. I also have our first session posted in YouTube, so if people see it there on YouTube, then they're welcome to come and join our group so that they can learn more, okay? So before we get started, I know some of you may be jumping into our learning series just for tonight, but I encourage you, after you see what we've got going on tonight, you're going to want to go back and listen to those other sessions, all right? All right, so as we get started, I know some of you, if this is your first time, welcome. My name is Dr. Annette. I'd love to introduce myself. Excuse me. Personally, I am a wife, mom, grandma, sister, friend, and colleague, and I enjoy family, travel, the outdoors, craft, music, and game nights. Professionally, I am a longtime educator. I have more than 30 years experience in early childhood and elementary education. As a matter of fact, 27 of those years, I actually worked as a gen ed teacher in the preschool through 6th grade classrooms throughout my time there. Over the past 3 years, I've been working specifically as an English language instructional specialist, and that's my current position. And in this position, I get to serve students and teachers, and so I work with those students who are English learners and I support the teachers with resources and instructional strategies to help not only English learners, but we know that all these strategies that we use for English learners are wonderful. They are perfect for all students in your classroom. So the other thing is, since 2005, I've been a national board certified teacher, and I continue mentoring teachers working towards board certification even today. I have a master's degree in educational leadership, a K-12 principal certificate, and a doctorate degree. And my doctorate degree focuses on administrative leadership, specializing in teaching and learning, which really speaks to the practitioner that I am. I love teaching and being with students and teachers. Now, besides doing College of Education adjunct work for 2 different universities, I'm also an Alaska State Writing Consortium teacher consultant, where I've been providing literacy professional development since 2006 for teachers in my district and around my state. As a matter of fact, this professional learning series is something that I was able to teach teachers in my district and also around the state. And since we were doing it in person, and I'll share later that it's so valuable and I've had such great feedback that I wanted to take this next part of it, the what's next coming up at the end, and put it online for you. Okay. I'm also an Alaska State mentor, and in 2019, I wrote more than $1 million grant from the National Education Association, and the grant was for our local organization. The reason is because early career educators are coming and into the field, and they're leaving before 5 years. And so this money, the grant goal is to fund a mentorship program to build a sustainable mentorship program, right, in my district. And we want to support those early career educators. They need support, and it's people like me who are out there and passionate about education, people like you who want to support others. So additionally, I am an education consultant, and I work with public, private, and homeschool educators, helping them to achieve their professional goals and overcome instructional behavior challenges in their classroom. So if I can service you in that way, please let me know. And finally, I am also a digital course and resource creator, and focusing on elementary education content, which is what brings us together tonight. Now, all the professional learning series that we've been focusing on today in the past 3 days is actually not just for elementary education, but it's actually K-12. And what I have to share with you, the course I'm going to share with you at the end of our session tonight, is also a K-12 course. Okay? So as you can see, I love education. I'm very passionate about education, and I love helping public, private, and homeschool teachers be that blue ribbon teacher. So this work really gets me excited every single day, aside from all the politics, right? Don't like the politics, but give me some opportunities to work with students and teachers. So that's a little bit about me. If you'd like to know more, I really would like to invite you over to my website, blueribbonteacher.com. Check out some of those free resources that I have. Read a blog post, share a comment, engage in the conversations that we have there. All right, my friends. Whoops, you know what? We should have been on that slide. Oh, well, now you know a little bit more about me. We're going to be moving on. Sorry about that. So for tonight's teacher conversation, we're going to focus on session 4. We're focusing on priming the brain for writing and next steps for writers. So we'll use our knowledge about the brain that we've been learning about this week, pulling in the writing knowledge that we've been learning about this week, and we're going to use all of that to support our struggling writers, okay? Then we'll reflect and put together a roadmap for success. All right, my friends. Well, let's go and dig in. Are you ready? All right. So as you can see here, we have the prior sessions 1, 2, 3, and today we're focusing on session 4. So I just want to take a moment here. Session 4, we're focusing on priming the brain and writing next steps for writers, okay? And let me just quickly go over. I don't know if you've realized this or not, but I'm going to let you in on a little secret. So as we've been working in each of these different sessions, I've been sharing some specific information, planting some seeds, if you will, all right? And these seeds are things that we want to do so that we can help prime the brain of our writers. Now, like I said, I'm going to just share some highlights tonight, but what I would really like for you to do is, if you are enjoying this series, then go back and watch the complete training session. They're usually about 40, 45 minutes. and then you'll be able to get really every single piece of the detail, okay? So with this first writing session, we focus on why students experience writer's block and 4 reasons that students experience this challenge. So we learned more than 10 strategies to support writers across the writing curriculum, from our early childhood writers right up through our high school writers, okay? Lots and lots. So let's take a look at those reasons. With each of these reasons that we focused on, we had several instructional strategies that can be utilized, such as let them write, right? Just getting their thoughts on paper is the biggest hurdle for struggling writers. It doesn't have to be perfect, right? Take what the student has written and display it. Be proud of that. Help the student to feel very proud of what they have written. And remember, if there is nothing available for you to read, how will you know how to support the students developing writing skills? Okay, so I had a story that I shared with all this and more information. So remember, one way to prime that brain is just to give them the opportunity to write about what they want to write about. It doesn't have to be what you want them to write about. Another way that we can prime that brain is to help students start writing with oral sharing. And we talked again about how that oral sharing helps students be thinking about what it is that they want to write, kind of do that draft in their head. This is a great strategy for your English language learners. This is a great strategy for those students who perhaps have an IEP and writing is one of their areas that they need some extra support. You know, when we write, we typically do a pre-write, right? And that pre-write can be oral. And if you're like me, I do my pre-write. I draft a letter in my mind before I actually write. And if you're like me, I may even bounce some ideas around with a friend. So what am I doing? I'm practicing that oral sharing as well. You know, an effective strategy for students to use, this is another one that we focused on, is to use an analogy. You know, usually, students, when they put something on paper, they think, done, one and done. It's done, it's perfect. But you know what? We know that we can use analogies to help students. For example, tying shoes, using a sports-related skill. First you have to learn how to dribble the ball. Then there are certain ways that you have to throw that ball, and it takes time and it takes practice. We just don't hop in the driver's seat and boom, we start driving, right? We have to take time and practice. So using an analogy to help your students understand that anything worth doing is worth practicing, even writing. We also talked about another great strategy for this challenge is to start small. As students continue along the curriculum or the writing continuum, then they have more and more big projects to write. So bigger projects. Projects that, if you think about an umbrella, that's going to have different spokes, and each one of those is kind of like a chapter, right? I know when I started my doctoral writing, I was like, oh, yeah, there's a lot. I have to do a lot of research. I have to do a lot of investigation. I have to do a lot of writing. And you know what? My dissertation was 187 pages long, and I never ever thought I could write something like that. But my team, they said, Annette, break it down into segments. You know what? And that's what we teach students. Break it down into pieces, right? Don't look at the big project. You're going to, what is they say, eat an elephant a bite at a time. I think that's what it is. So it's the same thing for writing. Then whenever it's time to revise, let the students use highlighters to locate those errors. Use colored pencils to make corrections. And then whenever they turn their work in, instead of rewriting the entire piece, have the student just submit one paragraph when they're focusing on just a couple of those errors, okay? So again, there's many, I just shared some quick strategies with you here on how you can help students prime their brain. But if you go into this first session, there's more than 10. There's more than 10 when I get serious and think about it. But there's lots of different ways that what we can do to support our students who struggle with writing. Now, a huge tip that I shared in this session, I want to share it again here. When it comes to a writer struggle, now I want you to listen, right? Here, why don't you come into me on this one, okay? So this is so important. If you can find out what the exact struggle is for that student, what is causing his or her negative experience, maybe something from his or her past, right? Maybe it's just they don't have that stamina to write. Whatever it is, when you can find out what is causing that problem, then that is going to be your ticket for instructional success, okay? Knowing the specific challenges that your students have, you can help them overcome those challenges by preparing, listen to this, an alternate route for the student to be successful, all right? Not everybody is going to go, from part A to part B the exact same way. I don't do it the exact same way that you do it. So if you can help that student by preparing alternative routes to get from A to B, you're going to help that student. And remember, we talked a lot about this in our three sessions. We need to make certain a student is not stemming. We talked about some brain science. The student's not stemming. They're not frustrated. They're not crying, right? But we want them to be calm. That they need to be in the frontal lobe, not the stem, but in the frontal lobe where they're able to learn, where they're able to accept what other people are saying. If the student is stemming, they're not going to be learning, right? We talked about giving them opportunities to excel. We talked about confidence and building relationships, and these are key elements for that student to be able to succeed. All right, so we had a lot of information there. Let me go back to those reasons. Now, are these all the reasons? No, they're not all the reasons. There's going to not every single student's the exact same, but these are the most common reasons that I have found in my experience working with students. Okay. Then, like I said, I've shared so many strategies within the presentation and stories. You definitely want to get back over there and watch that. And I'm going to keep an eye on the clock here as well so we don't go over. Some of the other things that we talked about, besides the challenges that students have, teachers also have challenges in their classroom that they are not in control of, right? As well as their own personal challenges and thoughts about writing. So if you remember, during our training session, I talked about the term I notice statements. I talked about building relationships, building confidence, and your students will soon be eager to learn when they know that you care. All right. This first training session was packed full of instructional strategies and examples to support you in helping your students. And each of the strategies and tips that I shared are priming your students for successful writing. So go ahead and make certain that you take some time to go back and watch that and let me know how it's working out for you. Okay. I'd love to hear from you. Now, the second session, we were focusing on learning from the experts with model texts to unlock writer's block. And I got to say, an often missed resource in writing instruction is pulling on the expertise of our authors. I shared some specific strategies on how you can use one book, yes, one book, multiple ways to not only support your learner in overcoming his or her challenge, but also, very important, bridging the writing and reading connection. All right, we want a bridge, a literacy bridge. Now, in this session, we were focusing on the expert writers, okay? I did some model lessons and I shared some instructional strategies that you can use in your classroom with your students to support them in overcoming writer's block. And I also shared some tips to using some picture books. So here on this screen, you'll see there are many tips that you can use to support your writers. Now, one of the things that people often miss out on is the number one tip I'm going to share with you. Now, the number one way to prime your students is with picture books. I want you to immerse your students with opportunities to engage in reading, whether it is self-reading, partner reading, or a read aloud. That's right, teachers reading aloud, parents reading aloud. I got to say the benefits are enormous. And let me go over here to another slide just to kind of share with you. Every night as a classroom teacher, I would have my students read for 20 minutes. All right. And I share this information with parents. So if you want to take a quick snapshot of this, go for it. Take a snapshot and I'll actually put on 2 more slides for you. But we discussed in this training session why I can't skip my 20 minutes of reading tonight. Okay. And when you look at student A and student B, student A is a student who reads consistently. Student B reads minimally. And if you look at student A at the very bottom, if the student continues to read 20 minutes a night for 5 nights a week, they're going to read over the course of a grade, K-12, they're going to read 10 whole school days a year extra. just because of that. And then student B is only going to read 3 whole days. Now, when you stop and think about your students and when they read, students who are struggling with writing often struggle with reading, and they don't like reading, and therefore they are not going to read. Okay, so as a parent, one of the great things that you can do, and as a teacher, is to share different books with them and engage them in different opportunities. Here's another screen. Take a screenshot of this. So by the end of 6th grade, if student A and student B maintain those same reading habits, then student A will have an equivalence of 60 whole days, school days, and student B will have only 12 school days. Let me go back here. This number down here at the bottom was over a year. I was thinking the entire education career, but it was 10 whole school days in 1 year. And then, this one here, let me go over here, it shows 60 whole school days. Okay, so I just want to make certain I clarify that. I was reading that too quick. All right, so, but what's important to know is that when the students are engaged in reading, they are going to feel good about themselves. Why is that? I want you to think. How do you think student B is going to feel about him or herself? Of the students, A or B, which student would you expect to read better? Which student would you expect to know more, have more knowledge? Which student would you expect to write better? Which student would you expect to have a better vocabulary? And which student would you expect to be more successful in school and in life? All right. A lot of that comes right down to this literacy. And here's some actual research. And this just shows that the percentile rank of standardized assessments with the minutes of independent reading that's done outside of the school day. So that's 98th percentile. Students in this percentile read an extra 90 minutes a day on average, and they are exposed to 4.7 million words. Okay. If you have a student who's testing in the 90th percentile, they're reading an additional average 40 minutes a day, and they have an additional almost 2.5 million, but 2,357,000 words. And then it continues, okay? 70th percentile, 21 minutes a day. 50th percentile, 12 minutes a day. Now we know that 50th percentile, anything between 50 and 60 is average, okay? So think about those students who are engaging in reading. Remember, 20 minutes a day is not a lot of time, and it is definitely going to have a huge impact on the students. All right, let me come back over to our slide here. So those are some tips on using some picture books, okay? And then, you know what, something else that's really important, I don't know how many people know about this, but I like to share. One way to get those early readers from age 0 to 5 years old, to get them started with reading, is to give them opportunities to get a book in the mail. Who doesn't love getting books in the mail, right? So if you want to hop over to imaginationlibrary.com, if you have a child who's 5 years or younger, sign your child up for this free program. And you can see it covers multiple countries, and you will have a book that is developmentally appropriate book for that child or that student that is sent to that student every single month in that student's name. So it's just for that student, okay? And these are great ways to prime the child's brain for future writing, even at age 0 up to age 5, right? All right, so that's so important. Let's go to the next slide here. So in the third session, we are focusing on differentiating instruction with multiple intelligences. All right, let me look here on the computer. I forgot the computer was even here. All right, so we were looking at those multiple intelligences, and we really dug into 9 learning intelligences that your students have and how to use their strengths as a way to support writing. So let's take a look. Excuse me. All right, so one of the things that we did is we made certain that we knew what multiple intelligence was and what it's not. Excuse me. And so when we look at multiple intelligence, we know that this was a term that was defined by Howard Gardner back in 1983, and he suggested that all people have different ways, different strengths of learning, right? Some students learn best through language. Some students learn best through logical thinking. Some students learn best through kinesthetic or bodily movement. And So in education, we can take that information and we can use that to help us in designing our lessons and assessments. One of the struggles that I have, I always get so frustrated, is every year, excuse me, every year students take these state assessments, but they can only take it one way, sitting down with paper and pencil. Now, we know that always doing the test that way is not going to serve all students. All students are not going to be able to share their knowledge just in that one format. And that's why it's very important that we have at least 3 different data points whenever we're looking at students' success and looking at their progress. So I encourage you to get to know your students, to build relationships, and to help them be able to share their knowledge in a way that meets their intelligence. Let's take a look. These are the 9 different intelligences, and initially Howard Gardner started out with 8, and then the 9th was added. All right, so visual and spatial, linguistic, verbal, logical, mathematical, bodily, kinesthetic, musical, interpersonal and intrapersonal, naturalistic, and existential. So those are the 9 different multiple intelligences. And in our 3rd session, you can go back and watch, we really went into different examples and strategies to help students overcome writer's block and also just simply learn based upon some knowledge of their multiple intelligence. Okay, my friends? So go ahead and check that out. All right, so my friend, now we're here. Look at this, session 4. In session 4 tonight, we're focusing on priming the brain for writing and next steps for writers. Now, I want you to be thinking about, in our sessions that we've had so far, we have discussed the importance of writing when students are in the frontal lobe part of the brain. When students are frustrated, as they are in a STEM, we know that they are not going to learn. It's a fight or flight. So how do we prime the brain when students are in the STEM? Well, let me tell you. It comes down to taking time to build student background knowledge. Students need to have some background knowledge, some schema in order to write. Maybe that's giving them the opportunity to look at some books. In session 2, we talked about that, right? Maybe it's that opportunity in session 1 to look at some different strategies that you can use across that writing continuum, taking a student where they're at and helping them to move forward. Maybe it's in session 3 when we talked about your multiple intelligences, right? Helping students build some background knowledge in a way that they understand, okay? We also talked about breaking those tasks down into small doable parts. Knowledge of that student's intelligence, providing a variety of resources for the student's writer. You know, sometimes students just need that time to draw. And that's working on the pre-writing, which we discussed from the first session, and tapping into a multiple intelligence. We also talked about reading books and engaging in conversations about a topic. Again, some students need to have that interpersonal, right, experience. Maybe that's their intelligence. Do you see how all of these go together? And all of these different sessions, there are things that you can do, that you can pull some strategies to support the students' writing. Okay, each of these steps, each of these sessions, all of these instructional strategies that I've been sharing, they all help prime that brain of the student to support them in their writing. It's keeping the student in the frontal lobe when the student does his or her thinking, and that's when they're calm, and that's when they're able to produce work. Okay, now that you've had a chance to review all the prior sessions that you see, tonight's session continues to build upon all the work that we've been doing together. So I hope that you can see how each of the seeds that we've been planting along the way this week, they provide many, many instructional strategies that focus on engaging and motivating students, priming students to write. All right. I hope that you have found some valuable information in this Encore training presentation tonight, and you were able to use some of the strategies that we've been sharing this week in your classroom. Share in the comments how it's going. I want to hear from you. Let me check the comments over here. All right. So now what? What's the next step to move your writers along their journey? So throughout this week, I've continued to plant some seeds, and now I've also planted some what next seeds in the past 2 sessions. Let me ask you, let me come back here to me for a moment. How would you feel if your students were excited to write? How would you feel if your students continued working on their writing pieces at home and it wasn't assigned homework? How would you feel if your students were eager to talk about their writing with their peers? How would you feel if your students were upset? Yes, upset if they did not have an opportunity to write every day. I want you to stop and think about that. How would you feel? Okay? I know how I feel because my students, they did that. And I want to share this information with you. Now I want to ask you from a teacher perspective, how would you feel if your students excelled in their writing skills in just 8 weeks? How would you feel if you could meet the individual instructional writing needs for every single student? Personalized learning. How would you feel if you became the most energized and enthusiastic teacher for your students? You know, when your students are excited about learning, that's going to rub off on the teacher. How would you feel if you knew that you were making a difference for every single student? That you had systems in place to motivate and engage students in learning that resulted in increased achievement. My friends, this is exactly what happens when teachers implement the instructional strategies and the framework that I share in this What's Next writing course. All right, now, if what I have shared so far this week and tonight has piqued your interest, I want you to remember this, to stay to the end of this special broadcast because I have some special perks just for my Blue Ribbon teacher friends in our Engage, Educate, Excel community. All right, let's continue on. I want you to keep dropping dropping the hearts and the likes, and put those comments in the button, tag your friends, invite them to our group so that they can learn more, okay? Let me know how you're doing. All right, so here I am so excited to share this with you. I am just very excited, okay? So what I'm going to share with you tonight is an amazing course that I've created. This course is called Creating a Culture of Writers. Now, I got to say, I've had the opportunity to teach this course with more than 100 other educators in my district and across my state, Alaska. And I am excited to finally bring this course online to reach even more teachers around the globe. So this, what I'm sharing with you tonight, is the launch of the official online version of the work that we've been doing in person. All right. Now I want to share with you what some of the in-person teachers said about this course. And I got to say, the course that I'm sharing with you tonight is more embellished than what the in-person teachers have, but they were just as excited. All right, so let me tell you. Christy, a third grade teacher, she shared, Annette, I learned so much in this course. I used to think teaching writing was just about penmanship, sentence structure, grammar, and story was character, setting, and plot. But after this course, I learned so much more about what real writing is and how I can better teach my students. Thank you for this course. You know, my friends, Christy, she's not the only teacher confused about writing. When people think about writing, oftentimes it's about handwriting, worksheets, cookie cutter stories, you know, where all the writing is the exact same thing. That's what my parents would think, you know, at our first parent teacher conference. Well, how's the writing? Well, they have good penmanship. No, that's not it. However, writing is so much more than all that. Writing involves craft, style, voice, those details, a true expression of the spoken language in written form. When students can take their thoughts and express them in a way to connect with the reader, then the essence of writing is truly revealed. And my friends, this course provides strategies and resources, tips to inspire educators like you to create an environment where writers are going to thrive. All right, my friends. Now, you may be wondering, why did I write this course? Well, let me share my story. I've kind of alluded to it a little bit today. Over my 30 years in education, I have had the opportunity to work with lots and lots of students, right? My students from first grade up through sixth grade, even in kindergarten, when I taught kindergarten, we still did some writing. And you know what? What I found was that when I implemented the instructional strategies and the framework that I share in this course, they quickly became routines. The expectations were established, and the students were so excited about writing. They were eager to write, to share, and to discuss their writing. Yes, discuss their writing. And I got to say, the transformation was spectacular. And of course, it all didn't happen in 1 year, right? It was like, I try this, I would try that, I tweak this, tweak that, and I keep building, right? But let me say, back in the day as a new teacher, year after year, I had a class of 25 students to teach writing, and it was not an area that I enjoyed personally because I struggled to teach writing, right? Remember the teacher challenges that we talked about earlier tonight? I didn't have that proper training. I didn't have enough time to devote to a writing block because I had to teach reading and math and science and social studies and health. I had 25 students at all different levels. And if you know anything about teaching writing or literacy, it's very hard to teach them when there are so many different levels. And with writing, my students took forever to complete one writing piece by a due date, no matter how much time I gave them, right? Some of the students had hardly anything to turn in. So early in my career, I sought out professional development. I read lots of different books, as I shared, on how to teach writing. Through some trial and error, I put these instructional strategies together, did some tweaking, and I came up with a very effective instructional strategies to teach, all right? So why did I create this course? My friend, I don't want you to have those same struggles and frustrations that I had in the classroom, trying to meet all those different needs. I know you know what I mean because right now you have these same struggles and feelings. You may also realize that teaching writing is not a one-size-fits-all, that you might be struggling right now on what to do next. So I'm taking all my research and practice, my trial and errors, and I put it together in this course, the course that I use to teach face-to-face. So many teachers and students were impacted by the information, right? And so now I took that course, I embellished it with some additional perks for my Blue Ribbon teacher friends, and I finally am posting it online. That's right. It is going to, this course is going to allow you to skip the pain that I went through to get on track to advance your writing instruction and your students' learning and achievement in writing. And if we're being honest, your students will improve all of their literacy skills. Okay? All right, so let's head back into our course really quick. Let me share, click on that slide. Okay, so in this course, creating a culture of writers, I'm going to give you all the details now. Looking at the clock, 5:12. Okay, so I will share with you my complete writing package of effective instructional strategies to teach writing based upon writing research, all those texts that I read, right? And my own action research, saving you lots of money and time. Now, the National Writing Project philosophy and the National Board of Professional Teaching Standards core propositions are embedded as well in this course. So whether you teach in public, private, or homeschool students, right, this writing course can integrate easily into your curriculum. It doesn't matter if it's kindergarten or high school, right, 11th and 12th graders. So this course is going to shorten the learning curve. And I will share my personal experiences, resources, and tips so that you get the same or better results with less time, less money spent on your own professional training. Now, I designed and taught this 3-credit graduate course for teachers in my district and state, and I'm so excited to finally bring it to you. So here's what another teacher said. All right, so another teacher said about their own transformation, implementing this, what he learned in this course. He said, this is Steve. He said, before taking this course, I had no idea how to engage my students in writing. All I did was pick up the TE, follow the pre-designed lessons, and had my students write. Now, did they write about the topic, share their thoughts, and complete the assignment? They did, right? But if I'm being honest, they hated writing and they were not excited to write. They were great at following directions, and to top it off, I hated teaching the subject because I really had no idea how to reach those students. Remember those teacher challenges? Well, let me go to the next slide here. You know what? Steve continued to say, Annette, this course has been a game changer for me. and my students. All right. Since implementing the processes and strategies, procedures, and lessons, my students are becoming eager writers. It's exciting to see them, not just one student, but currently let me get my eight students. All right. That made me so happy to hear that. I honestly have had to use lunchtime as an author sharing opportunity, LOL. But the other one for me, Steve, right? Not me. I now enjoy teaching writing. And I was just like, whoa, yay. I now know how to reach my students and excite and engage them in writing. Steve says, thank you so much for this course. Like I said, this has been a game changer for me and my students, a win-win. I gotta say, let's give Steve an applause. I love that. Well, my friends, I am excited to share that this in-person course, I did a redesign. I added some more stuff to it and I transformed it to be online. Now, it's an online course, but it's also a self-paced course, so you can go through the course as long as you need to. All right. Now, I have designed this course for all educators, so you can also bring out the joy and the love of writing in your students, all of your students. Now, let's go dig into some of the course. Now, in this course, we will integrate best practices, research with lessons that I've created so that you can start molding your instruction, your framework, your classroom into a place where students are eager writers. Here we go. Let's take a look at Module 1. There's 7 modules, okay? Module 1, you will examine your present instructional strategies, reflect upon your personal experiences, and begin to learn what great teachers do to engage and motivate students. In Module 2, you will take a deep dive into best practices, align your instructional strategies to ensure best practices in your classroom while taking time to implement changes to ensure success. Now, I do have to say, everything that we learned in Session 1, Session 2, and Session 3, we did a really quick highlight tonight, right? All of the information there, we take it and then we go deeper in these modules, and especially in Module 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right, here's Module 3. Now, where's Module 3? There it is. So in Module 3, you will continue expanding your understanding of best practices and fine-tuning your instructional strategies so they are in alignment. That is huge, right? In Module 4, you will begin implementing specific instructional procedures, lessons, and assessments while engaging and motivating students to write. Now look at this, number 5. Number 5, you will continue developing and refining your instructional strategies, lesson delivery, and varied assessments, remember the multiple intelligences, to ensure your students are learning. After this stage, you will begin to recognize students taking ownership of their writing and coming to class excited to continue working on their piece. Hey, let's get another little applause for those kiddos. Right? This, my friend, is where the real magic starts. And I can't wait for you to experience that. All right, next slide. Module 6, there it is. In Module 6, over several weeks, now we've been working together, right? Modules 2, 3, 4, 5, some of the meat potatoes. You've been working hard preparing, designing, and implementing your new instructional strategies, your framework, your lessons, your procedures. Now in Module 6, we will focus more on assessing students and engaging in personal reflective practices to further guide your instruction, all right? And in Module 7, this is the last module, you will begin to take a reflective overview of the work that you have done in this course, the writing space that you've created at school or at your home, right, if you're a homeschool parent, what and how students are learning and achieving, and begin thinking about your next steps, all right? At the end of this course, it just doesn't stop there because we always have something more that we can learn and improve upon. And I got to tell you, there's a lot out there, okay? Now, I want to let you know that each of these modules are designed for you to create a high quality program using best practice instructional strategies as that foundation. You know, it's important to have that solid foundation, right? To align with your curriculum, your standards focusing on student learning and achievement. That's the big goal, right? Learning and achievement. All right, my friends, let me share with you another testimonial. Here's what Lindsay had to say, third grade teacher. Annette, thank you so much for this course. This course is absolutely amazing. I followed along with your lessons, the process, and like you said would happen, my students became more engaged in their writing. That magic sauce, right? I love that there is student choice, and many of my students are now writing during their free time. Go figure. Thank you for this course. So as you can see, my friends, there are so many teachers who have experienced success, but most importantly, their students are learning and achieving as young authors, and their writing skills and strategies are transferring to other areas in the curriculum. Okay, let me look here. So I wanted to share with you, as I shared before, this course, it brings in information from the National Writing Project and the National Board for Professional Teaching Standards. This is the NWP, right, is an organization that provides resources and professional development to teachers nationwide through local state consortiums. So go on nwp.org, and I want you to see about if there is a local organization in your area that you can become a part of, which is what I did. I was invited to participate in this and learn more to support your writers. Now, there is a book that's called Because Writing Matters, and this is an excerpt that I pulled from it. All right, so in the book, page 15, historically, there has been tension between two distinct emphases in teaching composition. One that focuses on formal and external aspects of writing, such as grammar, usage, sentence structure, and style, and another that focuses on meaning, ideas, expression, and writing process. Now, oftentimes, overcoming the two divides is a challenge. But I got to tell you, my friend, in this course, we bring these two facets together in harmony. The author continues to share on page 16 that effective writing teachers address more than content only and more than just skills. In the classroom, the challenge comes in understanding when to focus on one aspect of writing, and the teaching writing involves multiple teaching strategies. Remember that multiple intelligence we talked about? That address both process and product, both form and content. All right, my friends, by the end of this course, you will be able to meet the writing needs of your students with effective instructional strategies. I need to take a drink. How are we doing on the computer? Okay. All right, so you have seen that I've been that struggling teacher who had a plate full of 7 subjects to teach, 25 or more students, right? I don't think I've ever had a year with less than 25. They all come to me with different interests, different academic skills, different learning experiences, and behavioral needs. So when I created this course, I took it into account everything that a teacher has on his or her plate in order to provide a strong foundation for creating a writing program that in your classroom spills into every subject, all right? So teaching writing is going to be a little easier. So my friend, I hope you can see what is possible for you and your students through this course, all 7 modules. And I hope that you can see the value that you have in front of you, the impact that you are going to make on the students that you have in your classroom this year and those students that you will teach in the future, year after year. Now, I have taken this fabulous in-person 3-credit course and designed it to be online, self-paced, to reach more educators like you. Now, I know that you're thinking, college work, right? How much is this course, right? So we're all familiar with the continuing education credits and the rising cost of education. But besides all the great information that you'll receive in this course, I got to say, I'm going to provide a course completion certificate for continuing education credits, and that's 45 hours. And keep this course price very reasonably for you. And you'll have lifetime access to this course, okay? Now, typically, I want to go back to the slides right now. Typically, this course, right, all 7 modules, ones that I've delivered at the university, typically this course is going to cost you $1,750, okay? However, I am so excited that I can offer this course for you at just $497. Yay! Isn't that exciting? Let's get a little applause in there. $497. That's like an 80% reduction in price. And you'll have that lifetime access that I talked about from your enrollment date. So if you enroll today, February 2nd, You have lifetime access forever, giving you time to return and review the content year after year as long as you need to while you are putting your learning into practice. Okay, it's kind of like whenever you have a book that you read or a movie that you watch, you go back and watch it again or read the book again, you always learn something new. And that's exactly what happens because our brains are accustomed to whatever we're ready to learn, that's what we're going to learn. Once we learned it, we're ready for more. So when you take the course again for free now because you own the course, right? Then the brain's going to pick up some new information. All right. Now, this is not all. All right. Because I want you to succeed in this course, I got to tell you, I want you to be successful. So I pulled some extra bonuses with this course to ensure that you are set up for success. And these bonuses, my friend, are going to save you that time and going to save you that money. All right. So I am excited to offer some extra bonuses that my in-person friends did not receive, but I am doing this for my Blue Ribbon teacher friends, okay? Because I want you to be successful. And I told you that I added some stuff to this, right? We do that as teachers, don't we? All right, let's take a look at the bonuses. Bonus number 1, you are going to get the Overcoming Writers Professional Development Series. It's a look at the reason students get frustrated, they shut down, and they simply refuse to write, and how you can support the student in overcoming these struggles. So you'll have the complete training, essentially what we've been doing here, right? With the extra resources in an ebook that I've created that I didn't post in the professional learning series we're doing right now, but you'll also have that ebook and you will have all of this so that you can come back to it. It'll be in one place for you. You can come back to it, look at the model lessons, you can come back to it, get all those instructional strategies, learn more about that brain science, and it'll be with you that you'll have forever, okay? That's the first bonus. That is a huge, huge gift, all right? Now, the next one, I'm excited about this. This bonus is I'm giving you my 20 detailed writing lessons to create a culture of writers. That's right. They are tried and true lessons that I personally use to establish my writing class, motivate, and engage my students. And regardless of the age group that you're working with, because you'll be able to tweak, and I have some tweaks in there for you for your different grade levels. And this is exciting too. I am including my bonus 3, all my systems and resources to engage and motivate your writers. So these are all my personal resources that I have created and that I use with my students to help them be engaged and motivated and excited. And it's just like clockwork. All right. Whenever your students are doing these routines, okay, you will absolutely love it. All right. Now, I got to say, these bonuses that I have shared right here, they have a value of $287, okay? And they come with this course at no additional cost because I want you to be successful. These are absolutely free, and it is a perk for my Blue Ribbon teacher friends, our family members in our Engage, Educate, Excel group, okay? Now, if you have some friends who are not a part of our group, invite them to our group, and they can be a Blue Ribbon teacher friend, and they can also take advantage of all these fun and specials that we've got going on. Now, one of the things too is that I want you to understand that the bonus is very, very valuable. Each of these bonuses, it's very valuable to support you on your journey, and it's integrated into the coursework, as you'll see whenever you have the opportunity to enroll. Okay, so let's take a look at the course. All right. I want to share with you that this course, we have the instructional videos, the 7 modules, the course completion certificate, which is 45 hours. You'll have the Overcoming Writer's Block complete video series. You'll have the 20 detailed lessons. You'll have also all my systems and resources to engage writers. Every single one of these, all right? Now, remember, the bonuses are valued at $287. The course is valued at $1,750, and that makes, let me go to that slide, there's the bonuses. So that makes everything together value of $2,037, right? But is that what I'm charging my friends? No, the price is still going to be the same as what I told you, $497. That's it, lifetime access. All right, now, as you know, come back to me here. As you know, one of the very, very most important things for me, a piece of my learning and transformation for me, was the mentoring that I received. And therefore, you guessed it, I want to offer one more special bonus for my Blue Ribbon teacher friends. So this is a special broadcast announcement because it's only good for, I'm only able to offer this for 1 week, okay? 1 week. So as a special launch, because this is my first time taking my in-person course and putting it online, I am going to launch this course with all the bonuses, right? Just for my Blue Ribbon teacher friends. I am going to offer mentoring. Yay, yay, yay. I'm excited to do this. I am offering bi-weekly mentoring for public, private, and homeschool educators, right? People who are part of our Blue Ribbon teacher community who complete the course registration. Now, this is it. You have to enroll in the course by next Thursday, February 9th. And the reason is because on February 13th, we're going to have our first mentoring coaching session. Now, you will be able to receive mentoring while you study, implement, practice, tweak, redesign, and continue developing your writing instructional strategies and framework with my support. All right, so the mentoring support will be held every other Monday, so bi-weekly, starting next Monday, February 13th at 4:30 Alaska time, 5:30 Pacific time. We're going to do this in a Zoom classroom. We're using that Zoom platform. And I also want you to know that if you can't tune in that specific time, not to worry because each session will also be recorded for you to review at a later time. However, if you have questions at any time, let me know, okay? I find that the mentoring bonus to be priceless due to the impact that it has had on me and my professional growth. Now, this additional mentoring bonus, there are 7 one-hour sessions. It's valued at more than $1,000. However, because I want my Blue Ribbon teacher friends to be successful, those who register by February 9th, right, it is going to be included in the cost of $497. All right, it's very, so I want to share with you what my one of my students, a good friend of mine, actually, what she shared. So let me come back here and let's take a look. So this is Vanessa. She is a 5th grade teacher, and this is what she had to say about the mentoring component, right? Because when I did the in-person, I wasn't officially like mentoring. We didn't like meet to outside of the class time to work, but I was available to support the participants as the instructor. Okay, so Vanessa said, Annette, I cannot thank you enough for this course and the mentoring. I appreciated the opportunity to work through the course at my own pace and the biweekly contact with you. You helped me overcome some specific student challenges that I had not only in writing, but other areas too. And I really appreciated this time to learn, grow in my instruction, and troubleshoot challenges with you by my side. Your experiences, training, and expertise were so valuable in my transformation, and your honesty was very much appreciated. Thank you. All right. So, my friends, I am so excited. This course, Creating a Culture of Writers, you have all the videos, course completion, lifetime access, bonuses, right? And also that mentoring. So the course is valued at $3,097 or $37, but again, only $497. Now, the $497 is through February 9th, right, to get the extra bonus for mentoring. So this is such a small investment for the opportunity to have a huge impact, not only on your instruction, but on the students that you're going to impact. Now, after February 9th, the course will still be available for a limited time at that special price of $497 because it's a launch, right? When I take it off, based upon how based upon the work that we do together and the impact, the feedback that I get from you, then I will go and make additional adjustments to the course. If you are currently taking a course, those adjustments you'll get free because you have that lifetime access. However, once I go through that adjustment period, then the price of the course will increase. So this is the perfect time. Gosh, it's such a steal. I can't believe I can do this. But I'm doing it because you know what? It's a launch. It's so important to get this information out there. All right, my friends. So, gosh, how do you register? All right. So are you ready to get started? So I want you to go to blueribbonteacher.com/ecourses. And there you'll see a link to go right into my Blue Ribbon Teacher Academy. And once you're there, and if I can, I need to get the little icon so you can just click directly from that page. But once you're there, you'll be able to register for the course, Creating a Culture of Writers. The registration is, the link is there. It's, it's a self-guided course. It's open now for this registration, right? For those who would like to participate in the biweekly mentoring, registration will close on February 9th. And I will contact those who register by the 9th with additional information, because you can go ahead and mark in your calendar. February 13th at 5:30 Pacific time will be our first session, okay? Now, if you have any questions about this course, do not hesitate to reach out to me. Contact me at Annette@blueribbonteacher.com, and I return with emails within 24 to 36 hours, depending on time, your time zone and all that stuff. That impacts that time, right? But I will be getting right back to you. Okay, so again, taking a look at the success criteria for today was priming the brain for writing and those next steps. So I hope that you can see how all the work we've been doing today is priming those writers' brain. And we talked about those next steps. All right, my friends, that this is the next part that you need to do. This is wrapping up our session today. Please let me know if you've been using these instructional strategies, how it's helping you. Also, let me know if something you tried didn't work, right? I'd love to hear from you. Tag me in your social media. And you know what? I am just so excited to share this course, Creating a Culture of Writers, with you. Yes, this course is your next step. This is your next step to become that teacher who can, gosh, you'll be able to not only teach them with the writing, but it's going to spill into every single thing that you do, okay? Guaranteed. So this course builds upon the work that you've been learning so far, and it sets you up for a solid foundation in writing pedagogy and writing practices. Now, the 7-module course with all the bonuses and the 7 1-hour mentoring sessions, which 6 of those are group mentoring and one's going to be personal, you and me mentoring. These are the next steps for your writing instruction. Guarantee. Okay. Let's go here again. If you are serious about changing your writing instruction and supporting students, excelling them in the classroom, this course is for you. Enrollment is open through Thursday, February 9th with mentoring support. And I am so excited to offer this course, the bonuses, and the mentoring. Now, you can also find more course information and register on the page, blueribbonteacher.com/ecourses. Don't forget to join us at the Zoom. I'm going to drop that in here momentarily. Join us in the Zoom classroom for some Q&A about tonight's content. Ask your questions, and I think that's it. So remember to follow me. Let me go here on our social media page. Follow me on social media. I'm on all these channels. You can follow me, and I'm usually at blueribbonteacher.com, Blue Ribbon Teacher, or at Annette Durbin. And on all of these sites, I share more tips, more lessons, and more inspiration. Also, if you're not part of our email newsletter community, I want you to go ahead and join. You can also join by clicking on blueribbonteacher.com, and you'll be able to find the join the newsletter button, and you can join in. Every week I send some additional tips and resources right into your inbox. So if we are not connected, I would love to get connected with you. All right, my friends, that is about it. If you have any questions, please let me know. I hope that you found value. Did you find value in this complete 4-session professional content series? It's 4 hours of training. Gosh, there's so much training. I'm so excited to share all that with you. And that next step, which is that course, Creating a Culture of Writers. If you found value, please share this with your friends. All right. Share, tag me in social media, invite your friends to come to our group, and where they can also get firsthand all this information. All right, my friends. So that is going to wrap it up. Again, if you're catching us on replay, #replay, and drop those comments and questions in the box. And again, if you're loving this training series, please let me know. All right, I'd love to hear from you. Now I'm going to go ahead and go to the next slide. I'm going to put the Zoom link into our chat box, and I hope to see you in class. And I hope to see you on February 13th, all right? I'm looking forward to working with you closely and supporting you. Have a great evening, my friends. Bye.